first let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced coming up short when setting ambitious goals? Then this talk is for you. So please welcome up, with her speech titled Goal Setting, Get Inspired and Stay Inspired, Mariya Aleksandrova.
I love unicorns. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I love goals. I love setting goals, but even more than that, I love achieving my goals. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a goal you're working towards right now? Raise your hand. Now, raise your hand. And we all know one. Ever tried to go to the gym in the beginning of January? It's a madhouse, isn't it? All these people working out, you're trying to get to your favorite treadmill, no way you can do it. But what happens to the same gym, let's say by the mid of March? Your favorite treadmill is right there, nice and ready for you. Now there is an amazing amount of information out there about goal setting. To be precise, if you put goal setting book in Google right now, it will return you more than 3.5 million results. And there is a reason for that. And the reason is that despite so many of us set goals, not so many of us achieve these goals. So why is that so many of us coming up short in achieving our goals? On my opinion, the main reason is a motivational factor. The one that gets you from your bottom, makes you start going, but even more important, keeps you going when you run into humps and bumps on your journey towards your goals. So what approach to choose? One of the most used approaches, especially if you're in corporate America, is a SMART goal approach. A lot of us heard about it, and a lot of us use it. Just to recap, SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Now, raise your hand and be truthful, if not with me, with yourself, if you think that this approach motivates you and inspires greatness in you. Oh my, I see a hand. I was expecting more. Whew. You're going to be interested in what I have to say. Personally, I like some aspects of this approach, like specific and time-bound. That works great things in a lot of occasions. But what doesn't resonate with me is achievable and realistic. It does not motivate me to go and get great things. Think about this SMART goal. In the next quarter, I will decrease the margin of error at my work by 12%, and I will increase my organizational skills by 30%. That's a SMART goal. You can chart it, graph it, put it in a report. It looks great on the paper. But does it fire you up? Does it want to make you get up and get going? In fact, studies show that SMART goal approach limits your potential. And you know why? Because we're human, we like comfort. So you put on the paper the numbers and deadlines you feel comfortable with. You know you have skills and abilities for. Do you think there is an approach that works better? Absolutely. Its approach was discussed and described in the book by Mark Murphy that calls hard goals. You heard me right. We just went from SMART to hard. So what's hard goals? It's also an acronym for heartfelt, animated, required, and difficult. So what's it about? Heartfelt. If you do not care about your goal, there is not going to be a motivation for you to get up from your bottom and keep going on to achieve your goals. Think about it. You would probably do anything in this world for the person you love the most. you have a deep emotional connection with, the one who lives in your heart. The same stands for your goals. If you have this heartfelt, emotional connection with your goals, you will do everything to achieve it. Now, it would be great if all our goals that we want to achieve or we need to achieve would come from our heart. Sometimes they come from outside, sometimes more than we want to. So let's imagine the boss comes in the office and says, here's a report that you have to create for our executive committee that will cover every single little aspect of our business in one report. Now it's huge. It's never been done before. Every executive holding their breath in anticipation of this report. But it's not your goal, it's your boss's goal, right? How do you build an emotional connection there? What works for me is to ask a couple of questions. Why do I care about that goal? What is it for me in this goal? How would I benefit from this goal? Now, when you find the answers for these questions, you start building an emotional connection with your goal. So let's say I will complete this report. I will do an awesome job. My boss will love it, give me a bonus. I'll use the bonus, go to vacation on Hawaii. Now that's something I feel. I want to go to vacation to Hawaii. I want to do that. Here is some heartfelt connections. There's bonding going on with my goal here. So if you can create this emotional connection, or if the goal comes from your heart initially, if you live with it day in and day out, it makes you start dreaming. And when you start dreaming, it makes your goal animated. And that's what A in heart stands for. Generally, for most of people, vision sense overpowers all other senses. So if you can paint the life picture in your mind about how your life is going to be when you achieve the goal, how you're going to benefit from it, how awesome it's going to be when you achieve all you want, it makes it like if you're not going to achieve it, something is going to be missing from your life. Use your imagination to paint a life picture of every little single detail, how your life is going to benefit from achieving this goal. Don't just put on the paper, I'm going to complete the report, I'm going to get the bonus, go to Hawaii. See yourself sitting in this Hawaii chair, lounge chair on the beach with a pina colada in your hand, and the warm breeze is touching your skin, and all you hear is the sound of ocean and the soft music somewhere. Aloha to that. Now back to reality. You know who is great in animating their goals? Politicians and public figures. They are so great that they motivate not only themselves to reach their goals, but even you to reach their goals. And I don't think they use smart when they're animating their goals. In fact, I'm scared to think that they would. Can you imagine Martin Luther King standing on the steps of Lincoln Memorial saying something like this? I have a dream that in the next 30 years, the percentage of hate crime will be decreased by 63%. And that the minorities living below the poverty line will be no higher than minorities from other racial groups. How's that for motivation? How's that for inspiration? Would it leave an impact for generations to come? I doubt that. So if you can create this life image and project your vision to the future, if you will live with this goal day in and day out in your mind, and when you close your eyes you see it, but when you open it's not here, it will make achieving this goal required. And that's what R stands for in heart. Now, if heartfelt and animated addressed the motivation factor of how to get up and start going, required addresses how to keep going towards your goal. And that's one of the hardest ones. So, by now we're all doing this report already. You know that, right? You're with me. It's due in 8 weeks. Are you gonna jump on it right now? Start working and crunching numbers, even if nothing else is there to do? Some of us will go and get some coffee or watch TV or browse social media, whatever it is, you're not gonna jump on the report. And you'll still think something in this line. 8 weeks, a lot of time. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. These words killed more goals than communism did. Why do we say that? Because as human beings, we tend to put more value on our present than on our future. Future may never come. I'll get hit by a bus tomorrow, no future. I'll take it today, all my pleasure. So every time when you grab a cake when you're on a diet, or swipe the credit card for the 32nd pair of shoes when you're trying to save, and you say, I deserve it right now, you put more value on your present than on your future. So how to fight the procrastination? How to trick your brain to put the sense of urgency in you? One thing works magic for me. And it goes like that. Do one thing today that will help you achieve your goal in the future. Goal achieving is not about doing 20 things every day differently. It's about finding this one thing and doing it every day. One thing. But where do you start? How do you know what to do today in order to achieve your goal in the future? So let's get back to our report, since we're stuck on it during the speech. It's due in 8 weeks. It will cover 8 departments. So you take this goal and you cut it in half. And you ask yourself, where do I have to be in 4 weeks in order to complete this report? Well, logically, you have to complete 4 departments by now. And then you take that and cut it in half. And then you take that and cut it in half, and cut it in half, and cut it in half, till you get to today. And maybe all you have to do today is to pick up the phone and ring your colleague in a different department and ask if they have some information that can help you to complete the report. That's it. So treat your day, every day, as a building break. Because it's like looking at these great castles in Europe that withstood wars and centuries. Their greatness determined by every brick that was put into them. Because it takes as many as one brick, one defective brick, to make a building unstable. Do one thing today, every day, and you will be amazed where it can get you. And last but not least, your goals have to be difficult. That's right. Why? Why not achievable and realistic? Take a second of the time and think about your greatest achievement in your life, the one you are most proud of. Now think, was it easy? Did you have to learn something in order to achieve it? Were you in your comfort zone all the time, or you had to stretch your limits? If you're like most people, the things you're most proud of, they weren't easy. They required a lot of effort, a lot of time, and they made you learn, and you weren't always sure you're gonna get there. Difficult goals inspire greatness. They increase performance because they take us out of this sleepwalking every day and make us pay attention and be at our best and learn and stretch our limits. How difficult is difficult anyway? Now take this greatest achievement you're so proud of and compare it to your current goal. Is your current goal a little bit more difficult than your greatest achievement? If it's not, probably you have to review it and raise your standards a little bit higher. Personally, if I'm not learning new things all the time, if I'm not pushing myself beyond my limits, if I'm not achieving something I dared to dream yesterday about, my goal is not difficult enough. In fact, I'm yet to find any of my heartfelt goals too difficult to achieve. What did I achieve with this approach? 2 things. Not going to bother you with many. 2 things I'm proud of. I lost and kept 80 pounds off. And the second is that within 5-year period, under 5 years, from being a Red Lobster waitress, I went to MBA graduate in the top 3% of US, senior financial analyst with the International Bank, and I'm just getting started. Woo. So if you do desire greatness, if you do want to reach for the stars, dare yourself to reach hard goals, like many outstanding people did in the past. As John F. Kennedy said, we choose to go to the moon and do other great things this decade, not because they're easy, but because they're hard. Mentos.